Hello everyone, my name is Laxmi Devi and I'm currently pursuing my LLM in Law, Medicine and Healthcare, which is essentially a Master's in Law, in Medical Law particularly. I also did my undergrad at the University of Liverpool. So a frequently asked question is usually how far or the distances between buildings and accommodation towards class buildings as well. So basically I'll walk you through what I think hopefully is a good representation of how it is like to walk towards your classes from one end to the other. So if you have an aerial view of the University of Liverpool, you have the south side of campus, the mid part of campus, and the north side of campus. So the south side is usually where you have all the art schools, and this obviously includes the law building as well, because we're under the humanities and social sciences, essentially arts. And then you have also the law library, which is Sydney Jones Library, which is located in the south side, and the new law building, which has amazing first class facilities, especially for those who are pursuing the law clinic modules, whether it's extracurricular or as a module. They have amazing consultation rooms now, huge computer labs, in order to help better the experience, and obviously to provide the best possible help towards these cases. And then you have the mid part of campus, which is the heart and hub of University of Liverpool, and this would include buildings like the Guild, which is obviously the building with our student union. You would also have huge lecture theatres, and you would have the gym. And then we go on to the north side of campus, where we have our second library, which is the Harold Cohen Library, and this is more towards science subjects, as well as the north side of the campus, which is meant more for the science faculties, and this obviously includes medicine and dentistry. So you will obviously be spending most of your time in the south side of campus, because that's where the law building and the law library is. And if you did, or if you are planning to book accommodations, which we have Vine Court, which is our catered accommodation, and we also have Philharmonic as well as the Melville Grove. They're all towards the south side of campus. So from the south side to the mid part of campus, which is where usually your lectures take place, because that's where the big lecture theatres are. In a law class, you typically tend to have about 200 students, which means you need the bigger lecture theatres. It takes you about 6 minutes to walk from the south side of the campus to the mid part of the campus. So if you are planning to book any of those accommodations, it shouldn't take you more than 6 minutes. If you are at the Philharmonic, it's just slightly a bit further out, so maybe it's about 9 minutes. But at most, you cannot go further than the 6 to 8 minute mark, depending on obviously how slow you're walking, if your friends stop you on the way. But that's usually how long it takes. And then if you are obviously in the mid part of campus, which I think most of you would have booked Crown Court, it takes you about 3 minutes to get to your classes, which means to say those people who really can't wake up early, I think that's the accommodation you got to go for. But yeah, it takes you about 3 minutes, because obviously you're already in the mid part of campus. We also have the Greenbank accommodation, which is 20 minutes out, but you can obviously take a bus. And when you do take the bus drops you at the mid part, sort of near, more towards the north part of campus, but mid part nonetheless, so mid north. And it only takes you about 4 minutes to walk to your classes, so it's really not that far. The buses from Greenbank, they're about 20 minutes, and they're really frequent. The queues are sometimes a bit long, but that's because everyone comes out of classes usually at the same time. But because the buses are frequent, you don't really stand there for longer than 5 minutes, and that's Greenbank. So another question that we always get asked is what are your contact hours like, and what it's like studying obviously a law degree. So your contact hours essentially are broken down to lectures, and then you have seminars. So for lectures, you have about 8 hours of contact per week, because you do 4 subjects, and for every subject you have about 2 hours for lectures. And then every 2 weeks or so we have seminars, which can go up to about 1.5 hours per subject. And so you have about, maybe for that week, about 16 to 18 hours. Sorry, maths is a bit bad. But basically you have that many hours for the third week of every 2 weeks, essentially, because that's when you cover your seminars. So your lectures are basically where your lecturers would obviously give you PowerPoints and handouts prior to the class, so you can pre-read, and it's where they will pile you on information, take you through the subject matter itself. And then you have the seminars where the lecturers, or in this case the tutors, take a back seat, and it's more the students coming up and talking about what they understood, clarifying the doubts that they may have, the queries that they may have. And this is where usually the tutors would also go through with how the assessment's going to be done, so that you can obviously excel in whatever assessment it may be, whether it is an exam or whether it's a coursework. So life at University of Liverpool is obviously amazing. That's why I stayed on, and hopefully I stay on to do a PhD as well. But yes, so it's really a nice community. There's really no such thing as, bullying, discrimination. It's very friendly. Everyone's always willing to help. The city of Liverpool as well, it's the Scouse attitude, where everyone's just always asking you how you're doing for the day, whether you're okay, and there's always people checking up on you. But if at all you have any problems, there's so many institutes to help, whether it's the clinic, mental health clinics as well on campus. We have obviously the student union that you can go to. You also have obviously the staff that you can go to at the law building, and then you can go to your lecturers as well, because obviously they're always there to help. As far as studies go, I think you'll really enjoy the work-life balance that you do have at University of Liverpool. It's not to the point where you have a noose around your neck. And the contact hours are obviously, as you can tell, much lesser than what you would normally have at a high school, or when you're doing any of the secondary and lesser studies, unlike tertiary studies. And that's because we do focus a lot on self-study. So I would say, as long as you have a good grasp of time management, and obviously as you come to uni, you sort of understand the uni life and how everyone goes shopping and stuff like that. So as long as you have a grasp of this, I guarantee you that you'll have an excellent time. You will get the experience and the material that you need, and you'll really excel very well. So hopefully I've cleared some of your doubts, and hope to see you there in the next September intake. Until then, take care, stay safe, stay at home, and bye.